Your 2023 Ironman Maryland swim course is as followed. The swim takes place in the brackish tidal waters of the Choptank River during the incoming tide, which means you'll swim with a slight current out to the turnabout and again against a slight current back to the swim exit. So make sure to account for the current when sighting so you don't veer too far off course. If you do, they'll have plenty of swim safety support to keep you on track there during your two-loop swim. Coach Wendy Mader, how do you approach this type of swim as a beginner or even an intermediate athlete?
Well, I like the course. This looks like a really nice course because it takes place in a river. It's a little bit more enclosed. You don't have to deal with any ocean, the elements of the ocean, and you do have a head current going out and a slight tail current going down. So it seems like a very fair course, unlike a river swim like in Chattanooga where it's point to point and you have it downstream the whole time. This seems like a fair course. It's going to be, you're going to finish within your predicted Ironman finish time. It looks very safe, and it seems pretty straightforward as far as sighting. It looks a little bit like an Ironman Lake Placid where it's rectangular, or an Ironman Coeur d'Alene where it's pretty much you go out, you make one turn, you make another turn, you finish, you have a slight little run, and then you do the second loop.
Because of their swim start philosophy now of letting athletes go out in small waves, the crowd should not be that big of an issue. But how would you suggest, or what do you tell people and your athletes on how to approach a buoy turn? Like all the buoys are on your left. How do you get around that when it can be a bit of a bottleneck at times?
There's two ways to do it. Sometimes you can, if you have access to practicing with your local triathlon group, sometimes they'll have buoys and you can go there to practice. Kind of like when you're going around it, you can kind of like, if you're making a left turn, you keep your arm to the left and you kind of rub up against your back, and you can do it maybe with your face out of the water as quickly as possible, not to get in anyone else's way. I like to swim head on and dive underneath the buoy when I'm trying to get by it, because there could be a crowd, and I'm used to holding my breath and I'm comfortable holding my breath. So I'll just kind of dive underneath and come out the other side.
I usually go a little wider just to avoid the people and then realign myself and then look up. And the sighting seems pretty obvious and pretty clear here with just a lot of straight lines, left turns, and then back to the finish after that first loop.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the current, that time of year, it's September. You could have all sorts of different weather here on the East Coast with the September race. You want to make sure you're comfortable sighting. You can practice sighting in the pool. You can go to your local open water, practice sighting, and you want to do that because there is going to be a current. The current could sway you one way or the other. So the more you sight, the more you're going to stay on course and less of a chance that the current's going to kind of push you either side.
And most likely, based on the average water temperature of 72 degrees, this will be a wetsuit legal swim in the river.